BarbacoaCore, a podcast network.
What is up, everybody? 2019's over. Happy New Year's 2020. I hope you're excited. I hope you had a great 2019, and I wish you the best in the new year. And yeah, so this is going to be a solo episode. I've been not on schedule like I always want to be. You know, it's just hard. Sometimes stuff comes up, or because I try to record on Wednesday, and I go back and forth of whether or not I want to stay strict to that date or that day actually. But yeah, I mean, the stuff comes up. I got a show, or I had shows, or just with the holidays. You know, Merry Christmas. Hopefully, you had great holidays with your friends, your family, your all that's. But yeah, just with the holiday going on and stuff, I didn't really book anything for these past couple of weeks. And it's New Year's Eve, so I just thought I'll just do it like a solo episode, just kind of like put something up for the new year. And yeah, just do a solo episode, kind of like touch base on like how the past year. I really feel. First off, I'm very stoked for 2020, and I've never been the type of person to be excited about New Year's. The only thing that I was excited about was like, oh, now I could get drunk and it's not as sad as, getting drunk on a Tuesday. Oh shit, but it is Tuesday. Anyway, but now it's not like a normal Tuesday or a regular Tuesday. It's fucking New Year's Eve. So this is why I'm getting drunk. But yeah, excited about the new year. Looking forward to being busy, staying busy, staying active in comedy and podcasting and just being productive, just being as productive as possible. I have a tendency of being lazy, and I kind of I let myself get carried away with that from time to time, and that is a bad habit that I need to break. Laziness. I mean, it's always nice to have down days, but if you have down weeks, or multiple weeks, multiple days, it's just not as good. You don't enjoy it as much when it's all you do. You know, so it's what does it say? Something about moderation. Um, but yeah, looking forward to staying busy, especially doing more comedy shows. In 2019, I really didn't do that many. I mean, I had a few fun shows, um, but those were all shows that. Well, the first show I did, I booked myself. I was the MC, and then I booked the comics on that. So that was in March. And then all the other shows, I never put myself out there or try to throw myself out to be on shows. I've always waited for people to ask. And because of that, I didn't do too many shows in 2019. I had a good few, which was good, which was fun. But in 2020, I'm going to try to be more active, try to search out for shows. I'm trying to put together an EPK or electronic press kit to try to send out. Maybe hit some road shows. I was able to do Laredo at the beginning of December. I did Laredo with Larry Garza. He was headlining. Aaron Suarez had brought us out. He's a comic out of Laredo, and we actually met here in San Antonio because he was on the funniest comic in Texas competition. He was in the first round, first show, and that's where he saw me do my thing, and he invited me up to Laredo to go do a show which was so much. It was so cool. Laredo has a bunch of cool people. So thanks to Aaron for that. And then, but yeah, that was the only out of town show that I've done, and I want to do more. I want to do more for sure. So I got to be more active and more aggressive. In not aggressive. That sounds bad. That sounds negative. But just try to stay busy. Try to do as much as I can in the next year, and just try to do better, stay busy, and get my name out there. Um, but some good things did happen in 2019 as far as with comedy. I got in with the Blind Tiger Comedy Club, which is great. I love working or doing shows there. If you've never been there, it's a great room. It's a small room, which kind of makes it kind of great. But it's just limited seating. I think they have at max they have 70 seats, something like that. Small intimate type of setting. But just the comics that are in that club have really helped me, inspired me, motivated me to just do better, write better, perform better, take it a little bit more serious. So that was a great accomplishment that I was able to obtain in 2019, getting in with the Blind Tiger Comedy Club. And that's in the cellar of the Magic Time Machine. If y'all don't know where that's at, off of 410 out by the airport. Definitely check it out. Support that room. They have shows every week. Every Friday, they have a 10 p.m. and 12 p.m. show, or 12 a.m. show, midnight show. Um, and every now and then they'll have off nights or one-off nights with touring acts, touring comics that go through there. But definitely check that place out. The Blind Tiger Comedy Club is one of the great things that I was able to be a part of this year. So that was cool. Um, yeah, and my first show that I will be doing in 2020, or the first show that I will be a part of, I met Danny Engel. I don't know if y'all know them. He's part of the Tres Leches comedy group. So it was cool. I met him when I was doing a guest spot on the the Freetail shows that happen monthly. Tori Poole puts that together. The Freetail Hoppy Endings. I was trying to get the name of it. Hoppy Endings comedy show that happens at Freetail, and that's actually where I met Danny Engel. And he was a nice guy. He came up to me and said, like that he enjoyed my stuff and just gave me little tips here and there, and yeah, and he kept in touch. And then he asked me to be part of the show, do a feature set for him, his Danny Engel and Friends. That's going to be January 4th at Las Cheladas in San Antonio. So yeah, it's going to be him, myself, Mary Picarazzi, and hosted by Victor Speedy Gonzalez. So that should be a fun show. It's free. So yeah, definitely come and check that out and have some fun. That'll be kicking off my 2020 comedy shows. Should be a good time. Yeah, man, it's just been a really good year. Got to meet, become friends with some funny people. Just meeting them through the mics or through the Blind Tiger Comedy Club. So it's really been good. Special shout outs to my friends of Please Ignore What I Just Said podcast. Joey Smith, Brendan Potter, and Justin Byers. Good friends, young guys. It's been really good. They actually helped me do some writing. We kind of help each other out. We kind of talk to each other on a daily basis. We run stuff by each other, and it's always good to have that type of connection, support. Even though comedy for the most part is a very solo thing. You're up there by yourself. You're doing your own stuff. You're doing your own thing. You're on your own. You're flying on your own, which is scary, but yet intense and fun, all wrapped up, all rolled up in the same thing. So it's nice to have friends that you could kind of help bounce ideas off of, write with, and just knock off with, so there have been good guys that I was able to come close with this year. So yeah, check out their podcast. Check them out. They're all Blind Tiger comics as well. So you can catch them maybe on a Friday at the midnight show or the 10 p.m. show there at the Blind Tiger. And then changing things up in the podcast. This is now called the X Lives Podcast. It was once called the BarbacoaCore Podcast. The idea behind the podcast has always been the same. I just changed the name of it just to give it more of a straight, streamlined idea of what it is that will be talked about on the podcast. I like diving into people's finding out about them, what they got going on, anything that they want to promote. But I also want to find their backstory. Where did they start out? Going back as far as like their childhood, or maybe they were into something else prior to investing all their time in comedy or acting or directing or whatever they are doing at this time. They had to be doing something. They had to have a main focus prior to this. I think so, and I like to discuss that. Like my before I got into comedy, I was real heavy into music. Want to be a rock drummer and do all that, and I invested a lot of time that I don't regret. It was all good. It was all fun. I'm glad that I have that in my history. I'm glad that is part of my history. And every now and then, it kind of like it creeps up on me. That whether or not I want to get back into that. Actually, this morning, I drove out to Sam Ash to just look at drum sets because I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe I should get back into playing drums again. Because when I did that show in Laredo, I drove up with Larry Garza. And it's very rare that I have the opportunity to nerd out on music with anybody. I'm not saying that people that don't listen to music the way I do, or we don't have the same interest, but you just don't get into like the same type of. You don't have the same not passion for the music that you listen to. Not everybody shares the same interests. Not everybody likes the same bands. So it's very rare that you get to dig down deep into nerding out on whatever you like. For me, it's music. Some people like, sci-fi, comic books, horror. They have their different interests. So it was nice because we had a 5-hour drive round trip. So it was nice to be able to nerd out on music with somebody, we're like, oh, I remember this band. Oh, I remember this band. Oh, there's the producer for this one, and so just talking to somebody about that, getting back into like nerding out on something that you spent a big chunk of your life so far, like being a part of, just kind of reignited the fire that I had with music, And he joked about like, oh, we should start a band and do blah blah blah, do like a joke rock band, so this and that and whatever. But just going back into it and like just reminding myself of how much I really loved playing music, listening to music, just getting deep into that. I was like the next day I was like, oh man, I want to fucking buy a drum set. I want to start playing again. I put out like a tweet or whatever, or a post on Facebook, like starting another band. If you like John Carpenter, you like synth, you like 80s horror music, let's fucking make a band. Let's do some synthcore shit. And of course I got like 0 responses because nobody's into that same shit that I'm into, which is fine. I mean, it's very rare. Like that was the kind of like the direction I was trying to go with Drosera. And I don't know, I mean, mostly I won't remember that, but that was one of my last bands that I was in, with 2 of my best friends, Ernie and Vargas. And we kind of had that idea. I brought that idea with them. And truth be told, I was just trying to rip off a band out of Seattle that's called Sleepy Eyes of Death. If you're really into like synthcore, stuff like Zombie or John Carpenter movies. Check out this band, Sleepy Eyes of Death. They're no longer around, but man, there was such a great. They put on great shows with fog and lights and like fucking like stacks of synths. Um, it was great. I love that sound. I love creating music like that. So when I brought together Drosera, it was kind of leaning towards that idea, but of course, when you have two people that have different influences, different backgrounds musically, it's not going to sound like exactly how you have it pictured in your head or sounding in your head. It wasn't a bad thing. I mean, we still had fun with it, and I love jamming with those guys. And that's another like creating something with a group of people is amazing. Like it's a great thing to have like some type of connection with somebody. Like I'm playing something and you're playing something at the same time, and what we play together is creating this song, this sound, this set. Like it's I know it's like on the outside looking in, it's very simplistic, because music's music. Everybody makes music look like it's easy to do, you know and for the most part it is. But creating a certain sound, creating a certain song, playing together to create something out of nothing, it's pretty amazing if you break it down piece by piece. It's an amazing feeling. It's an amazing accomplishment. Any band out there that's able to do it, look at it, like break it all down, break all the pieces apart, and what they're doing individually as a collective is pretty fucking amazing. Um, so that was a fun part of being in a band. That's the fun part of creating with a group of people, a group of friends, a band of brothers or sisters. Um, Creating something as a group, and then having people enjoy what you're created uh, that was always the fun of it. That was always the fun of it. And I get a lot of that with comedy too. Like I never know what people are gonna laugh at. I know what I find funny. I know what I think is funny. But when the crowd reacts to something that you thought was funny, that's a similar feeling. That's like, oh, you fucking get this. Like you really fucking dig it. Um, so yeah. And I always find similarities with music and comedy. I'll find it like because it makes sense to me when I look at it. For the big picture of it. Um, But with comedy, I mean, you're on your own. You do it on your own, which is good and bad, because with bands, you have to rely on people. You have to hope that everybody's on the same page, on the same schedule, and nobody ever is, you know. And so that's when it's hard to keep it all together as a band, because you want everybody to be on the same page. And truth be told, the band is only as strong as the weakest link you know so if one guy in the group of y'all, one guy or girl in the group of y'all is not in it 100%, maybe he just wants to do 60%, 40%, like it doesn't help in the rest of the band progress, so yeah, what was my point? Oh, so this morning I went to go. I've been thinking about looking at drums and like pricing them out and trying to figure out like, oh man, if I buy this piece, then this piece, where would I play? Who would I play with? Um, would I find the time? Is this going to take my time away from doing comedy? Um, am I like? Do I want to invest? Because music equipment, any music equipment worth of shit is a lot of money. It's an investment, especially with drums, because you got to replace, drum heads, drumsticks, cymbals, hardware. I mean, it adds up. You can't just say I'm going to be a drummer and then just be a drummer. Like you have to make a financial investment as well as invest your time and energy, which I'm not even sure I have extra of that as well. Time and energy. I mean, I can make time. I don't know if I have the energy to do it. But just getting back into it, like financially, it's like, oh man, is this something that I really want to do? put my money in, and then like find a place to play, rent out a place to play. And I know in Leon Valley, like a little county outside of Bear County, um, like they're trying to not allow bands to rent out units to play. And that's what we used to do before. We used to, go into a storage unit, like 24-hour access, maybe not even 24-hour access, but indoor storage units, rent those out, and then jam out in those. Um, you know, which kind of sucks because all the walls are metal, so sound just like bounces off like pretty crazy. And it gets crazy because like your band could be set up, because you think, oh, we got a great idea, we'll rent out a storage unit and we'll play there because nobody's there at night. And then right around the corner there's another band playing loud as fuck because they thought they had the same secret idea of doing a storage unit jam session. So yeah, I mean it's just hard to do. Um, you know, there are like rehearsal spots. Um, Damn, I wish I could think of it right now, so I could give it a shout out, but can't remember. But like you could rent it out by the hour, and they'll provide you a drum set. You just got to bring your own snare, your own cymbals, your own hardware, and like so that's still an investment that you gotta put into. So I don't know, man. I did get some drumsticks. I bought some drumsticks. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Maybe just work on my chops on like a little drum pad, practice pad that I have or that I've had for a while. And it was funny, man, because I've used the same sticks, ProMark sticks, for years. And just now thinking about it, it's been 4 years since I've sold my last drum set that I had. So it's been a while. It's been a while since I actually had to buy drumsticks. So when the guy's asking me, and I mean, it has to suck working at a music store, you know, because everybody has tons of questions. They ask you tons of questions and they don't buy shit. So I understand uh, music store employees are pretty shitty people, because they have to deal with shitty people. So I get that, So nobody wants to help you. It takes forever to get help at any music store. Um, I chose Sam Ash because the other one. What is the other one? Fuck. What is the other one? Guitar Center. Fuck Guitar Center. Guitar Center. If you work at Guitar Center, you're a piece of shit. Like that's like your job requirement is to be a piece of shit asshole. Because they all have I'm better than you attitude. I'm better than you mentality. You're working at fucking Guitar Center. Get to work. Answer my questions. Don't be a fucking dick about it. Um, so yeah, I refuse to go to Guitar Center, even though, I mean, the prices there are a little bit. They might get a better deal at Guitar Center, so I'll give that to them. I'll give credit to them for that. We might find something a little bit cheaper at Guitar Center than you would at Sam Ash. But the people at Guitar Center, I've never had a good customer service experience at Guitar Center anywhere. In Seattle, in New York, in San Antonio, never have I ever Corpus Christi. Never have I ever had a good Guitar Center customer service experience. So fuck that place. But even at Sam Ash, I mean, the people are just kind of like dead-eyed and miserable. Maybe they were out playing their gig last night, and partying hard and rocking out, and now they're, at noon back at selling drumsticks to people who don't do it as hard as they do. What was my point? I'm just off right now. But no, like I went to go price out the drums. I was like, oh shit, this is more expensive than I realized. And then I was looking for podcast equipment, like mic stands and all that stuff. And then I was like, let me get some drumsticks, so I could just work on my chops. And so the guy's like, can I help you? What you looking for something? And I was like, yeah, dude, like let me get some drumsticks. And if you know anything about drumsticks, there's so many different types, shapes, weights, sizes, tips, all that stuff. He's like, all right, dude, you gotta give me a little bit more information than that, man. I was like, oh that's cool. It's been a while. Let's work backwards. I know that's a wood tip, and I mean, I felt bad because it did take me about like 2 3 minutes to remember the sticks that I used before, and they're American Hickory TX5 5DW. Unless anybody wants to buy me some drumsticks, I'm good right now. I mean, I just bought a fresh pair, and I'm not playing anything but a drum pad. But so yeah, I had to get that good attitude from uh, uh, music store employees, and they're just mad. They're angry people, and I get it. I had friends that worked at what the fuck, I can't think, at Guitar Center in Seattle, and I mean they're good people, but they're shitty to customers for sure. And that's just how they make fun. That's how they have fun at their job. They hate their fucking job. Um, so they're just shitty to people. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's not excusable. They shouldn't be like that. But they're just very condescending. They think they're better than everybody, and they're not. They work at Sam Ash or they work at Guitar Center, and sell me a fucking $10 pair of sticks. You piece of shit. Um. So yeah, being all this negative, I do want to end on this. Through the podcast, I've been able to meet a lot of positive people, people that have positive outlooks, people that are just nice in general for no reason other than they're just positive, nice people. And that's great, man. I would love to have that mentality, just positive. And I'm trying. Like I know I just went off of talking talking about how shitty Guitar Center employees are, but I'm playing. It's all a joke. I think they're great people. I wish nothing but the best for them, and all that good stuff. But 2020, that's really what I'm gonna try to focus on is being like a positive person. Don't be angry. Don't talk shit about people. I mean, yeah, just not to try as talk as much shit on people per usual. Just try to be positive, man. Cause just I've met like so many like shout out my past guest, my last guest, Big John, very positive dude, and he's blessed, and all this positive energy, positive message type stuff. Cool dude, you know. But a lot of guests that I've had on here, are just like that whole positive outlook, and it just helps. Like if you think positive thoughts, you'll have a positive energy, and you'll just feel better about yourself. You know, because negative people just want to bring if they're down, they want to bring everybody around them down. And what's the point of that, man? I mean, let's just have a fucking good time. Let's just enjoy the time that we have here and fucking have fun. It's not fun when you want to bring everybody down, to just because you're down. So I'm gonna work on that. That's gonna be definitely something that I want to do in the New Year's. Positive, have a positive outlook. Be nicer to people. Um, get more involved. Um, but yeah, so if you've been a guest on my podcast, whether it was the BarbacoaCore podcast or the X Lives podcast, it's all the same thing. It's all my podcast. Thank you for doing it. For sitting down with me in 2019 to do that. Um, anybody's always welcome to do the podcast, the X Lives podcast in 2020. I've already booked a couple the next couple of weeks out, which I'm pretty excited for. But yeah, man, I love doing the podcast. I love sitting down with other comics, any artist. I love sitting down with them and just like asking them questions, digging deep into their lives and their past life. I like talking about the old shit. The good, the bad, the fuzzy, all that stuff. Um, but yeah, if you booked me for a show in 2019, thank you very much. Special shout out to Irma of Mind Twist Comedy. She's put me on a few shows. Marsha at Jokesters have put me on a few shows. Everybody at Blind Tiger are just great people, and I've got some shows through them. So yeah, I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm not. I'm not. I didn't write any of this down, so I'm just going off of memory, which is not good right now. Um, I just came back from lunch. Um, I had lunch with my mom, and I had to tell her after we finished eating. I was like, truth be told, I just finished eating breakfast when you called me to meet you, and I didn't want to tell her no, because it's New Year's, and I haven't seen her since she left out of town. She just got back into town. Went to go visit my sister and sister-in-law, niece and nephew in Washington. So yeah, but yeah, so I had lunch right immediately after I had breakfast, and I'm like, dude, 2020, you can't be doing that. You can't be eating like that. You garbage piece of shit person. Um, so yeah, gonna try to be healthy. I said keto, but fuck all that. Like I'm not gonna. I mean, maybe I'll try that. I'm just gonna try to do better with my eating habits and my drinking habits and my sleeping habits. Have better habits, better work ethic, all that good stuff. So, because with all that, my brain doesn't work all that well. So I kind of need my brain if I want to keep doing comedy and podcasting. Words are important in this type of things, with these type of things. So that's it. Just wanted to do a quick podcast, just a year in review. I really didn't review much. I kind of just was just rambling on. But I'll leave it at this. Positive energy. Be nice to each other. Um, and this is me talking to myself. Be nice to people. Um, yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Well, not this episode, but these episodes of X Lives. I just wanted to say happy holidays, happy merry belated Christmas, happy New Year's. Best of luck to you, everybody, anybody in 2020. Try to live your best life. If you need anything from me, if there's anything that I could do for anybody just to help them stay on the right track, reach out, man. We're all friends here. We all want the best for each other. And I really believe that. I truly believe that. And I truly mean that. All right. Happy New Year's. Hope the best for you in 2020. I will see you next week. Later.